Bah, 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 bah.
I don't know the lyrics.
It's a bam bam
Oh,
bam.
right
Do
now.
the bendy at the end, the little Tenacious D thing. Gotta do the bendy.
Gotta have the bend. Yeah, you gotta have the
Gotta have the
bendy.
bendy. That's
I
exactly right.
appreciate a Tenacious D reference of the morning, man.
Oh yeah, Tenacious D is one of the best there is. And actually, Parker came up with that one. Like he put it in there. I give him full credit for that. What's going on, Clint? Clint Pasillas here with me, along for the Blue Review. Really excited to have him on here. Got a lot of stuff that I want to get into with you. I want to talk about Mookie Betts and how he is basically 100 pounds now. You talked to Kiké Hernandez. I want to talk to you a little bit about that. We have a video of that actually that I have questions upon questions upon questions about. But first off, tell us everybody where they can find you, Clint, and what you're doing right now.
Yes, sir, I am, as you see on the screen. Well, I'm Real FRG on the social media things. I host a couple of podcasts here on the internet machine, All Dodgers with Clint Pasillas. Hey, there's the logo. I forgot I'm wearing it, even though I paid somebody to make me a hat so I could wear my show. And then also Dodgers Territory on the Foul Territory Network with Alana Rizzo, everybody's favorite former Dodger reporter turned Dodger reporter again.
Yeah, and maybe next week because you're coming on again the next few Tuesdays because Marcus is going to be out. Also, Parker Bell not feeling well, so he's not going to be on today. But maybe next Tuesday we can get the full Dodgers territory. I can reach out to Alana we can see if it's you and Alana do a Dodgers territory takeover of the Blue Review. I think it would be a lot of fun.
I'm down.
Let's do it. Also, thankful to LAX very much. We are presented by LAX, and LAX changes are arriving daily, transforming the travel experience. For more info, go to flylax.com/transforminglax. All right, Mr. FRG Clint Pasillas, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with your wonderful video with Kiké, or let's start with Mookie?
Let's talk Mookie, man, because this whole situation has been weird for Mookie.
Yeah.
He lost, like you said, he lost about 20, I think it was 17 pounds. He lost enough weight for somebody who's already an overly small dude or a regularly small dude, going from 175 to, he said, about 157, with a stomach virus that was not allowing him to keep food down, or at least keep solid food down. We're hoping he's getting in the lineup tonight, which is pretty cool. Dave Roberts said yesterday that it was the first time Mookie was finally able to keep some food down. The team changed medications for him over the weekend, which is always fun when you're just throwing medications at whatever the problem is. They don't know. They still didn't know as of like Sunday what exactly the problem is, but seems to be, as Dave Roberts might say, he seems to be on the come. He seems to be on the way back. And if he's in the lineup today, he's probably in the lineup on opening day, which I'm still a little iffy about. I don't know if I want him playing major league shortstop at 157 pounds, but at least we're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, if he says he was 175 pounds, he was probably around 168, 170. He's just not a very big dude. And also, let's talk about the Dave Roberts portion of all this. The fact is that when he says things are going to happen, the opposite usually happen. I don't fully believe the things that Dave Roberts says because he likes to just say things to the media. So I would love for Mookie to be healthy and be in the right and being in the lineup opening day. That'd be amazing. However, you don't need Mookie Betts in the lineup opening day. You need Mookie Betts to get back up to 175. You need him to be back at his normal weight so he can play the game at the right level and everything that's going on. So if he has to sit for another couple of days, if he has to sit for another week or two, that's fine. Just get healthy and get back to where he needs to be, right?
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I would say I fully agree with that. And again, the fact that he's transitioning to being a full-time shortstop,
right?
I mean, we know how it kind of goes, at least on the mental side as well. Both you and I having been major league shortstops in the past, but if you kind of start high level, the highest level, we taught people like Corey Seager, Cal Ripken Jr., all things people, some Miguel of the best Rojas, shortstops, Miggy Rowe, of course. But if the season kind of starts a little sideways, if he starts a little slow at the position, then all of a sudden all the headlines are like, hey, did the Dodgers make a mistake? Was Greg Bergman right to question why are the Dodgers moving Mookie to shortstop, all that kind of stuff? He needs to as Mookie said, he's playing uphill. If he's playing at that weight, I would like to see him not play uphill because, like you said, they have enough depth, and I've talked about this yesterday a couple of times. They have enough depth to survive not needing Mookie Betts on the field for day one. Just give him a little bit more. Give him a week. I even offered my services. I'll take him out for a delicious Wendy's Baconator.
Get all the fat in there. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I can help as an expert fat guy. I can help, Mookie. I can help.
I mean, you're fat Ryan Gosling. That's kind
Yes,
of
sir.
what the
Hey,
name
girl.
means. So there you go. You can help with that stuff. But either way, yeah, like it's the way you said it too. Guys like Greg Bergman, like me, saying that why are you moving over in a shortstop? Don't put him down a peg. Don't put him in a position not to succeed. And that's pretty much what this is right now. If there's anybody that I feel like is going to come back and come back healthy, get his body right, it's going to be Mookie. And you already saw in Japan that without Mookie and without Freddie, they put up 10 runs. They won both those games. The pitching staff and the bullpen were tremendous. You can still get through all of that without Mookie. So just as long as he needs, that's what he needs.
Yeah,
take your time, buddy.
Is a great shortstop, as
Sure.
we know. Even Ocean View Coffee Shop in the chat mentioning Edmonds looking awesome so far, batting second. So it's not like it's a massive deficit. Yeah, you want Marcus Lynn Betts in your lineup. This is a former MVP. He's a perennial MVP candidate. You want that dude in your lineup. You want him batting second behind Shohei. We know what Mookie can do when he's right, but it's better. It's okay to give him a little bit of time, afford him that little bit of time if he needs it. But he's also said, like, he's chomping at the bit. He's tired of sitting. He wants to get in a game. But at this point, they could also put him on the IL retroactive to the Tokyo series. I think you can go back as far as like 3 days. So really, he might just miss the first series and then into the Atlanta series, and he could be back for part of the homestand. It's not like they're shunning him away. He'll be there for the ring ceremony. He'll be there for all the pomp and circumstance of opening day 2.0 at Dodger Stadium. But then he'll also have some opportunity to put on some weight and get his legs back under him fully, because he also hasn't played a full game at the position since I think a few days, I think the weekend before they took off to Tokyo. So I had noted when Alana Rizzo and I were out there in Camelback Ranch, like we did not see him at all. Mookie was nowhere to be found. So I think, like you were suggesting as well, Dodgers not really being open and honest with time frames and other things like that. I think it was happening before the 2 days before Tokyo, as the team has put out there. But anyways, at least he's on the right track, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just exactly. At least he's on the right track. And so if he was sick and he wasn't doing well before they went to Japan, why? I mean, I get that you want to go to Japan, you want that whole thing going on over there, but why even send him to Japan for them to just send him right back? It was a whole mess. The biggest thing that I'm a little more worried about is that this is almost like a setback on his shortstop. Like, he had the entire off season. He was supposed to have an entire spring training, and he's losing a little bit of that spring training. And it shouldn't be. It's not going to change that much for him. But I feel like him at shortstop needs every rep that in games that don't matter as he could possibly get. So I think he'll be okay. Obviously,
it'll be. I also wouldn't be surprised at this point. I still wouldn't be surprised if he's in that opening day 2.0 lineup, just because that's who Mookie is. He wants to go out there and he wants to post with the boys.
Yep, no, 100%. He's a guy that likes to play 162 games, or in this case, 160 games. He's going to want to play as many as possible. All right, next, I want to get to this, and I think we have the video of it. You did an interview with Kiké. Was it yesterday?
Yesterday we had him on. That's correct.
And you guys were talking a little bit late. Parker, if you can throw that video up of Kiké Hernandez and Clint Pasillas on Dodger territory.
Finding out about my right eye, which pretty key, and then of course working on some things that I wasn't doing great mechanically. Kind of saved my season, and who knows if it saved my career. There's a chance that I was a couple days away from getting DFA'd last year. And fortunately for me, unfortunately for some of my teams, hurt. And I mean, I was able to stay on roster, and obviously the rest is history. But yeah, just being able to do the hardest thing that there is in all of sports, which is hitting a baseball when you can't really see the spin of the ball, is it's a pretty hard thing to do. But I'm glad we have that result for now, and I'm looking forward to a full season of being healthy, feeling strong, and being able to see.
I mean, that was first of all, that was amazing that it took going to a doctor to find out, oh, hey, if I see, I can see the ball.
It's crazy, right?
Right. We were supposed to have a different clip. I think Parker's getting it right now. It's supposed to be a clip of you talking to him about being the home run leader. And there was his first of all, while he's talking about being the home run leader, what is going on? His hair how high was he in this, do you think? Like, I know you can't say
So
straight
what's
up,
funny,
but like,
what's funny is the behind the scenes. We weren't 100% sure if he was going to join us because he wasn't responding to texts till a few minutes before showtime. He had just woken up very shortly before that and let Alana know, yeah, jet lag is real. Of course, the boys are still fighting it. They're still coming back, trying to get back here in U.S. time, in LA time. So props to Kiké for giving us what he gave us. He was phenomenal yesterday. And there I'd asked him about, I mean, Greg, you know how it is online. We hear about Glasses Kiké, the legend of Glasses Kiké, and that's what I asked him about. It's like his season was rough. If I'm being kind, it was rough before that Glasses date. There's more to that answer of his where he was talking about, you know, a lot of people like to forget he had that off-season surgery, the hernia surgery to repair that. And it takes longer to come back from that than some people might realize. So he was dealing with that. He got into bad swing habits and then realized he wasn't picking up the spin because he wasn't really seeing well out of his right eye. I don't know how close the team was to actually DFAing him, but I could understand him feeling that because it was a pretty low point in his career and in his season at that point. But thankfully for everybody, you know, it turned out the way it did for the Dodgers. He stays on the team, goes on to assume a role as a starter wherever they need him in the outfield, in the infield, and has some pretty big homers, pretty big hits, and pretty big base running moments en route to that championship last year.
Look, man, playoff Kiké is a real thing, and the more we have him around and playing in that at that level, I mean, it's just the better. There's certain guys that you just want to have on the team that continue to do big things in big moments, and he's that guy. I want to play another clip, but not just yet, since we're talking about that and the fact that he was getting close to being DFA'd, as you were saying, that I didn't even realize, close to being DFA'd. And he showed up in big moments. Another guy that tended to show up in big moments, but is nowhere near that anymore, is Chris Taylor. And there's a lot of talk around Chris Taylor. What's going to happen with Chris Taylor? Is he going to be DFA'd at some point if he doesn't start hitting? I personally believe that at some point it's going to be like it was last year. Give him 100 to 200 at bats and see what he's actually able to do. You can get him in the lineup 2 to 4 times a week by putting him in the infield, in the outfield, somewhere else, whatever it happens to be. What do you think they're going to do with Chris Taylor, and do you think he's on this team at the end of the year?
The short answer of the second question is it's hard to see it because he's had also really rough spring training. If they do put Mookie on the IL, let's say for a short time to open the season with this sickness and let him get back up to weight, I think that's kind of a golden opportunity for Chris Taylor. He probably won't be starting at shortstop, but he would probably get 1 or 2 more opportunities. It's a chance he could be in the lineup against Tarek Skubal on Thursday as well. But he needs to seize every goddamn opportunity that he can.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know if you curse on this show, so I changed.
No, please don't. We have an ESPN name on it. We can't.
Gotcha. That's why I'm proud of myself.
Good job.
He needs to seize every opportunity he can, and not find himself buried in the lineup like he did last year. Because if he's getting, what is it, like 50 at bats or whatever it is in the second half, like he got last year, it's just a waste of a roster spot. So, as much as he's meant to this organization, as much as Chris Taylor is meant to the Dodgers and still means to the Dodgers at some point, you know, Dave always tells us it's about a meritocracy. It's about, you know, results. It's a result-based business, and this is supposed to be the best team in baseball. It's hard to say we're focused on winning every single game and maximizing every roster spot with somebody that's hitting 200 or a $120 or whatever it is with no pop. Yeah, he can play a nice defense, but at the same time, he's blocking some of the kids down in AAA. Somebody like Alex Freeland would love to be at the big league level, getting life-changing money, even as a major league minimum guy. But it's really hard to see at this point in time Chris Taylor doing enough with the bat to be a part of that postseason roster. I'm even wondering, and I want to know your opinion about this. Do you think Taylor's even on this roster after like the All-Star break?
See, it really is going to depend. I really do believe they're going to try and get him 100 at bats. I think that's what it was last year. I think they're
they also said that with Gavin Lux last year, and then they lied, and then eventually it didn't work out. But even so, the
theme of the story here is they lie. So that's what they're not telling us what
they just
what
stretch their own truths. Right? That's what it is.
Yeah, stretch their own truths. See, I don't have any relationship with the Dodgers like you do on Dodger territory. That you have to be safe on there. I don't have to be safe here. They're lying.
It's a toe line. Yeah, that's fair.
Right.
I had wine with Dave Roberts. I need to be a little more cautious with my words now because we already upset him once. I don't want to do it again.
What did you do to upset him in that video? It seemed like that went away.
No, that wasn't that. It was during the postseason, during the Padres series in the NLDS. We had some harsh takes about I think it was games 2 and game 3, things that didn't go the Dodgers' way. So that was sort of it made its way to the Dodgers and to Dave and his family, and we've since all kissed and made up and that sort of thing. And Dave gets it. And that was the whole kind of the thing that spurred the sit down, the exclusive sit down with Dave Roberts was, listen, I want to talk to you guys so people understand better, why I didn't go out there making a big fuss when Manny Machado, jutted in 4 feet to block a Freddie Freeman throw, and like why there's times to make a big, hullabaloo, and why there's times to play it cool and not give into the fuel that the other team is trying to create, or give into the fuel the fire they're trying to create. So ultimately, Dave proved us all wrong. He understands. We're going to say a lot of bad things or dumb things about him. And I trust him a lot more now after that conversation, even more than I did before. But there's your behind the Dave.
I like that. Behind the Dave. That's what you should call it. Just sort of whenever you have him on, it's just behind the Dave. But you did mention something. You were talking about how, because we were talking about Chris Taylor, and we talking about how blocking some of those young guys, Alex Freeland. We've talked on this show. We've talked a lot about Dalton Rushing and what's going to happen with him, because he's fully blocked right now. They moved him out of they've tried to put him in the outfield. What didn't seem to really work. They put him back as a full-time catcher. As long as Austin Barnes is in this lineup, Dalton Rushing is blocked. So who do you think is the first guy that comes up? Because you talking about Alex Freeland. Is it Rushing? Is there somebody else? Maybe a Zaire Hope coming from all the way from AA, or even David Bote. Maybe he's the first one up. Do you think one of those guys?
I think Rushing is pretty dang close to being somebody that could get that call up. If they do call him up, he needs to get a lot of playing time. He needs to be in the lineup. It's more likely going to be one of those kind of journeyman dudes. They love the journeyman dudes, whether it is a David Bodie, whether it is a Eddie Rosario. If they do remain in the organization, I don't know if that's been official, if they've made their way to the AAA roster or whatever. Obviously, there's still fake games happening right now. But I think it would be more in line with that than one of the top guys. Freeland, if there's an infield injury, Freeland is definitely going to be pretty close to being that first call-up guy. But we still also need to factor in that this team is contending with a roster, a 40-man roster crunch, where there's a lot of injured players. And, they can create some opportunities, I guess we'll say. Haesung Kim is somebody who's also around, who's on the roster. As I say now, as I open up the roster here on the side, Hunter Fiducia, that's another name I should have had. Hunter Fiducia as well. Would not be shocked to see them running with 3 catchers at some point, or if Austin goes down, Hunter will be that first guy before before Dalton rushing. But if Will is out for an extended period of time, and we hope not, because Smitty's had a great start to his season so far, 2 games, small sample size, but Fiducia is going to be one of those guys. If he can somehow add some versatility, it's going to be a game changer for his career. But they still have a few guys before we get to Dalton rushing.
Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting what happens to him then, because you're right. I totally forgot about Hunter Fiducia, and he's the guy that comes up before.
He had a great spring, man. He had a great spring.
I mean, it's spring, but yeah, he had a great spring. And you know that where Dalton rushing is. I think he's either 1 or 2 in the minor league system for the Dodgers. So you want to get that guy up there at some point, but you're blocked. You're blocked heavily from coming up here because of guys like Will Smith. Austin Barnes will eventually move on when Clayton Kershaw moves on. It kind of seems like it's like that's going to happen eventually. He'll go into coaching because he's an excellent leader. But I mean, David Bodie. He can only do 1 or 2 things. He can play first base, blocked by Freddie Freeman, or be player. A DH. Yeah, pretty good player, or a DH, and they have that other pretty good player in Shohei Ohtani. So Bodie is kind of
third.
stuck.
He could play some second as well. Like second could be a pathway to some playing time. So if you're getting real creative and playing musical chairs, say Andy Paez is struggling or is injured, or Conforto is injured, Tommy Edman can go back into the outfield. Bodie can play second base. Like they have the depth, which that's what the Dodgers really, really set out to do, is plug in depth everywhere on this field, on the roster. So they have that optionality, as Dave might call it, as the front office might call it. But that's not necessarily what they want to do, of course, because Bodie comes up, then it's another roster spot or whatever. They would love to have Mookie be healthy. They'd love to have Chris Taylor figure something out, and Kiké Hernandez be more like Glasses Kiké that we saw in the second half of last year, and not have to make any crazy decisions roster-wise.
Yeah, I mean, and going back to Kiké, we didn't have time to actually play that clip anymore. But the fact is, in that clip, you talk about how he's leading the league in home runs, tied with Shohei and Tommy Edman. But he has the league lead in RBIs. For like a week.
He's killing it right now, killing the game, difference maker, brand new Kiké. All of a sudden, 2-time World Series champion, get the glasses, leading the league in ribbies, despite the 125, I think it is, batting average, small sample size. But it's pretty funny. Of course, he's the one who had posted on his social media. It's like, I'm going to sit out the week as the league leader. And he was great with that as well. He's the one who threw in all the other things, sprinkling in the RBI total and all that kind of stuff. What a guy, what a character, man.
He is a character. You need those type of guys on every single team, and he's that for the Dodgers right now. We don't have a lot of time left. I just want to ask you one last thing, and it's going to come down to, we talked a lot about Mookie and what's going on with him with losing 35,000 pounds, and he's down to 85 pounds, which is crazy. No, he's down to like 155. Either way. Yeah. Are you more worried about that, what's going on with him, or more worried about Freddie Freeman and the fact that his rib injury is still lingering from last year?
I was like 40% worried about Freddie's injury when it scratched him for the Tokyo series, but hearing the updates yesterday, it seems like everything is good. He had mentioned like it was just some scar tissue that was kind of breaking up as those ribs healed. So I think Freddie should be good moving forward. I would worry more about his surgically repaired ankle than that rib issue. But he knows he's going to have to play through that ankle injury. But the Mookie thing it's definitely weird. I would like the organization to find the right people to figure out what exactly is going wrong, as opposed to just throwing medications at it. But I understand that's sort of part of the game when you're trying to get somebody on the field as quick as you can. But Mookie is definitely the one you really want to watch over the first week or two of the season. Make sure that it doesn't reoccur. Make sure he's not running off the field to go throw up into a trash can or something like that, because we know the Houston Astros need those trash cans. You definitely watch Mookie, man.
It'll soften those trash cans when he throws it to him. You don't get as much sound when it's not empty like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to go back, because somebody had said in the chat here as well, like I could be his personal fat coach or something like that. Mookie, I'm telling you, man, hit your boy up. I got you, my dude. He has to pay for everything though.
Next time you have behind the scenes with Dave, then you can just ask him behind the scenes, like, hey, let me get in there with Mook. We'll figure it out. I'll put some weight on him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right,
be an
Clint,
asset.
Hey, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it. Thank you to LAX. Thank you to Parker Bell. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, but got it all set up here. And coming up next is Travis and DeMarco, and really big thing here as well, return of Lit, live imaging Tuesday with Chris Morales. So stay tuned for that. All coming up next year. Make sure to be here every day, 8:30 to 8:55 on the Blue Review. See you guys tomorrow.
Bye.